Hello, this is a recording for the assignment. It says it's actually issued week 3, but we chose to issue just a little bit later. Due date week 7. As we're going online, this is going to be a little bit different for you. Okay, what it says, through this unit you have been introduced to Polynesian expansion across the Pacific Ocean with a focus on the cultures and countries of Maori, New Zealand, Hawaiians, Hawaii, Samoan, Samoa, Fijian, Fiji, Tonga, Tongan Tonga, and Easter Islanders, Easter Island. The connections and similarities of each Polynesian civilization has been referred to in this unit. Task. Your Trinity Lutheran College has decided to send you on a history tour to the Polynesian Pacific Islands. You are undertaking this tour so that you can find 4, please note 4, Polynesian activities and experiences for you to learn about, focusing on Polynesian history and culture. I'm going to repeat that. We must focus on Polynesian history and culture. Really, really important. You create a travel itinerary that covers 7 to 10 days for this tour. Flying out of Brisbane, travel to at least 2 different Polynesian islands, return to Brisbane at the end of your tour. You must find 2 different places, activities and or attractions on each island at which you would learn about the Polynesian people and their history of each island. For the final assignment, you are required to include an itinerary for each day. Don't need to include unnecessary detail like what you had for breakfast, what sort of shabby bus you're catching, time spent at your cultural historical activities must be included. Screenshots of your flight times to your islands and accommodation with addresses should be there if you're allowed to travel, but that's questionable. Pictures and location of each cultural place, activity and or attractions such as landmarks that you attend to learn about the Polynesian people of that island. This is very, very important too. You will need to write between 100 and 150 words on each activity about why you chose to focus on these cultural highlights and what students will learn about Polynesian people and their history. This written section is fundamental. In other words, must do. And you cannot achieve high marks if it is underdeveloped. Maps of your travel routes for the week and locations of your activities to be included. You must provide a breakdown of major expenses of your tour, cost of flights, accommodation, activities, if that's available. A reference list and in-text referencing of resources, particularly that cultural section that you're writing about, should be used, and it will be a full digital submission. And there's a whole lot of inspiration starters. What does a travel itinerary look like? What does a travel blog look like? Why should I visit Polynesia? So some reminders about Polynesian culture and history. Check those out. Adobe Spark tutorial, which I don't think you'll need because you're all over that sort of thing. And where to get presentation platforms, either Spark, Adobe or Prezi. You're declaring that this is your work and this is your criteria. So normal information, historical knowledge and understanding. Have a look at those criteria when you are finished your assignment or working on your assignment. Make sure you talk about causes and effects of events and development, patterns of change, continuity, significance of individuals, a king or different groups, your different hierarchy that you've been learning about, different interpretations of the past. You analyse, discriminate, select and organise information from a wide range of primary and secondary sources. Should see that reflected in your bibliography and your in-text referencing. Discerning evaluation of sources that coherently explains different points of view, identifies origins and purposes and distinguishes between fact and opinion. Communicating, use historical terms and concepts effectively. Sequence events and developments within chronological framework with reference to periods of time. Organise and presents logical and valid historical arguments following format, style and referencing conventions. That's that in-text referencing, a beautiful bibliography. integrates evidence from sources, again, in-text referencing. So if I don't see in-text referencing, I'm not seeing integration of evidence from sources, and correctly and consistently referencing sources of information. Okay, that's it to start with. That's all I've got to say this section. Okay, we're talking culture, and this is really important for our assignment. Please note, not landscapes. We need 4 cultural.